Hello guys, welcome back. So it's been a while. It's been months at this point. I've already completed, of course I get an email. So my name is Bismah and I'm a first year biomedical student at the University of Auckland. I'm making this video to answer the questions that I get pretty much on a daily basis. I get these a lot and a lot of them are the same questions. So I'm just going to make this video and hopefully this will help a lot more of you guys rather than me individually replying to you guys. Does that make sense? Okay, let's just get right into it. So first of all, I'm just going to start off with some updates because that is going to affect the way I answer these questions. Basically, I have only had around 6 weeks of actual in-person teaching this whole year. University basically went into lockdown. We all were forced to basically do online learning. And that's what I've been doing for the past few months, just learning online. It's been good. There's pros and cons to both of like in-person learning and online learning. You just have to be a lot more self-disciplined. Second update is it's semester 2, which is what I'm doing right now. I moved into halls for, I think, 3 weeks. And then we went into lockdown again. Surprise, surprise. So now I'm home again and back to online learning again. So, yeah. Okay, so let's get into these questions. Should I turn on the lights? I don't know. Now I'll leave it off. So, first question is, I'm planning on going to do first year health sciences at Otago next year and then hopefully making it into mid. I'm currently using Goodnotes for all my note taking and was wondering if Notability will be the better option for next year considering all the diagrams. Any other apps that you would suggest? So basically what she's asking is, would I rather be using Goodnotes or Notability for my notes at university? I personally use Notability on my iPad. It's a bit more practical with the level of content that you get at university. I'm not sure whether Goodnotes can do this, but what you can do with Notability is you can dual screen things. So you can have 2 screens open. So I'll just show you. So you can have 2 screens open. So say I have this open, and then I also want, say, my textbook open on the side. I can do that, and it's really good. So I could take notes on this side and have the lecture slides open on this side. That's the biggest advantage that I would say for like online note-taking apps. Not sure whether Goodnotes can do that. From my memory, when I was using Goodnotes, I couldn't do that, but they might have updated something, so I'm not too sure. In terms of Goodnotes, I like that they have a bit more customization and personalization with their style of notes, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to have any time to do pretty notes at university. You're just going to have to just make do with whatever you get down. No time for pretty notes. They're not really helpful. Just get down the notes, get down your learning, and you should be fine. Also, one thing I don't really like about Notability is the import feature for photos and screenshots. It just takes a little bit of a while compared to like some of the other apps. That's the only thing, but you get around that pretty quickly, so not a big of a deal. Okay, I'm just going to move on. That was a really long explanation for a simple question, but yeah. What NCEA Level 3 science papers, biochem, physics, do you think are most useful for Biomed? Okay, so this is a very interesting question. I asked this question when I was in year 13 as well, and this is how I would answer it. First of all, what you need to recognize is that you get taught everything completely from scratch at university. The reason for this is because everyone at university comes from different backgrounds. There's international students, there's people that do Cambridge, there's people that do IB, there's people that came from NCEA. So what they want to do is they want to bring everyone up to the same level of content. Hence why we have this thing called pre-med and preclinical entry. A lot of people don't realize how different people have their learning around New Zealand. Our learning curriculum isn't completely equal across the board in high school. So university does a good job to just equal out the playing field in terms of the level of content and knowledge that you have. But I'm still going to answer this question because, yeah, it's still helpful to know. Chemistry, level 3 chemistry is the most helpful out of the 3. You might find that kind of surprising considering it's biomed and you think bio would be more helpful. Okay, the thing with NCEA bio, especially level 3 bio, is the fact that it is heavily plant-based, DNA-based, and genetics-based. So you don't get literally any anatomy or physiology content to learn. I don't know. I believe Cambridge students might have some. So if you're doing biomed specifically and you're doing a lot of these like med-sci, bio-sci papers, biology in high school isn't actually biology in university. Biology in university is very much more about the human body, more about learning about the different functions, the risk factors and all that. So you don't get taught that. So I wouldn't say bio is really that helpful, but it still is a recommended subject. So yeah, take that as you will. Physics, if you're doing biomed, it's helpful. If you're doing health sciences, you don't need it. The reason for that is because in second semester you have a physics paper to do. You don't need to be the smartest person with physics. You just need a basic understanding of it, level 2, level 3 understanding of physics. Also, I'm currently doing physics at the moment, the physics 160 paper, and I will definitely say it's not, if you go search out the reviews on the course, you'll find a lot of people complaining about the way that it's structured. The lecturers like to go off task from the actual course guides quite a bit. So the way I would probably combat that is to have your own separate set of notes rather than directly writing on the course guides, which I know a lot of people are doing. You know how there's 4 core papers for each course. How do core papers work in comparison to normal papers? Haha, I don't know what half of uni stuff is. Okay, so basically the core papers are what are weighed against more for clinical programs. By that I mean they count more towards the clinical programs when you're applying, because that's directly kind of like the knowledge you need to get into those programs. So both health sciences and biomedical sciences have the 4 core papers, which are Bio-Sci 107, Med-Sci 142, Chem 110, and Pop Health 111. Okay, so both biomed and health science students do those papers. So 3 of the core papers happen in semester 1, and then one of the last one happens in semester 2, which is Med-Sci, which is intense. That's like another horror story, I guess you can say. Semester 1 is very important because you have 3 of the core papers in that semester. So go hard in semester 1 and you should be good for semester 2 if you just try your best in semester 1. Also, just acknowledge when you have certain failures and like you don't do well on certain things. Just work towards it. University is all about the learning experience. You're just going to have to learn with it. It's not about NCEA where you crack the curriculum and you look at keywords and you're just like, oh yes, I got the keywords, miss, I get an excellence. It's not like that. You have to really know your knowledge. You have to really look at things from different perspectives and answer questions in order to do well. So just be aware of adapting to different styles of learning at university. So the next question is, how many hours would you say you find yourself having to study a day? I'm kind of trying to sort out. Okay, cool. It varies a lot. You saw from my last video, I was studying pretty much whenever, which I think is probably very close to what I am still doing. So what I will do is I won't be studying 24/7. Let me just get that straight. I do not want to be that kind of person. I still want to have some type of social interaction. I still want to develop my skills as a person. I have personal goals, like financial goals and personal things that I want to focus on outside of uni. So I always make sure I schedule in time for those and then work my studying around that. Hey, I saw your YouTube video. I was wondering if you can tell me what doing biomed is like since I'm currently applying for next year. I saw that you moved into a uni hall. Is it good in the hall that you are staying? Okay, so that's like 2 questions in one. So what is biomed like? So biomed is a very challenging degree, but it is also a very rewarding degree. So I know a lot of people have this perception of, since you're doing biomed, you must be trying to get into medicine. But the reality is a lot of people, when they go into biomed, aren't actually in the mindset of going into med, as you might have thought. And a lot of people do actually change their mind as well. There are also a lot of people that want to do pharmacy, optometry. There's people that just want to continue doing biomedical science and hopefully get a career in biotechnology, lab work, and like institution-based research and all that. There are also people that want to further their studies and do PhDs and masters and all that. There's a wide range of people. And there's also people obviously wanting to do med. So it's a pretty interesting degree. You will never get bored. If anything, you'll just be overwhelmed at times. But other than that, it's definitely interesting. What I've noticed is you don't actually need to be that smart for Biomed. The content itself is actually pretty basic. It's just a lot of content. So you just have to be really, really good at managing your time, managing how you strategize your learning. The rest of it honestly just comes to you. It's not like high school. You need to just be very conscious of your time. You can't cram, I'm going to be honest. Don't cram. People don't cram. Thank you. It's the hall that I moved in. Great. So I moved into Waiparuru Hall. So out of the catered halls, Waiparuru Hall is probably the best one, simply because of the fact that they give more food options, which means you're less likely to get sick of the food over time. A lot of the other halls only have one kind of food stall, I guess you can say, and the food very quickly starts tasting all the same. You'll still experience that in Waiparuru Hall, but it won't be to the same degree as other halls. Also, the biggest thing I would say is halls just is a great experience if you're quite a social person and you want to make new friends. I would say it's way more worth it when you get it underneath a scholarship, and I definitely implore you guys to do that. Just apply. If you don't get it, it's completely fine. If you do, that's also great. The thing with scholarships is you want to try to reduce your student loans, so try and apply for scholarships. It might be easier to get it next year from my thinking, because international students won't really be coming to New Zealand for study because of the pandemic. So maybe they have more scholarships available to local students. I have no clue, but that's just what I'm thinking. I know you do TikTok or something. Yes, I do TikTok quite a bit. Probably seen me there. I post quite a bit on there, very active. Again, go follow my TikTok. I just make whatever videos I want. If you find me posting a lot, it's probably because I'm stressed. I use it as like a de-stressing method. It's really weird, but it works for me. I always need like that creative outlet to get my stress out. So TikTok has helped. Yeah, I do limit my time on there, but I do like making videos on it, so go check me out there. I will answer any questions there. I will do any challenge there. I will just do anything. Bismah, do you take part in any clubs at the university? I'm going into Biomed at UA next year, and I really want to be a part of at least one club to get that uni experience, but I know I'm also going to need a lot of time for studying. Do you think extracurriculars and Biomed is a good idea? So I did sign up to a couple clubs at the start of the year, but unfortunately I can't really talk about them that much because of COVID, everything went into lockdown. So a lot of the clubs are less active. They're still active, but they're less active. And a lot of the students within those clubs are less active as well. So I haven't really been actively engaging with clubs. Just take your first semester kind of slow and just only apply to maybe like one or two associations, kind of settle into the semester, and maybe in semester 2 look at clubs a bit more deeply once you've kind of settled in and you have a good schedule in mind for how you're going to approach things with uni. So that's what I would suggest. Take it if you want. If you don't, just leave it. Well, you have such long and busy days. I'd be exhausted if I were you. Yeah, don't worry, I am. I'm always exhausted. But good on you. I just got to the end of the video where you were saying how you're so thankful to have an education like this. I'm actually tearing up. So many people, myself included, take our education for granted. We know we can go to uni, and lots of people just go to procrastinate getting a job or to just party and blah, 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 which is fine. But then here you are studying and you truly want to be there. Now I'm super motivated to make the most of my education. I'll go do some revision now instead of watching YouTube videos on Netflix. Okay, that makes me super happy. Like, you got something out of that? Yeah, I've always had it from that kind of perspective, because from a young age, I've just kind of been exposed to a lot of real world problems, like outside of New Zealand. What I find in New Zealand is a lot of people don't realize how blessed they are to be in the place that they are. I always try to look at things from a bigger perspective. Look at happiness from outsider's perspective. A lot of people will kill to be in the place that you are right now. A lot of people are disadvantaged in so many ways, don't have access to the same resources. I personally just find it much more satisfying to just be grateful for everything you have, mainly because so many people would just die to have the education that we have here. First year's free as well, so just just be thankful for it. I'm not gonna say like study your ass off every single day and just like have no life. Like, don't be me. Even high school, a lot of people hate on high school quite a bit. Just make the most of it. Don't focus on other people as much. That's like my number one rule. If people judge me, I don't really care. I know myself better than anyone else. They can judge me all they want. They probably only met me for probably 10 seconds, or they've got an impression of me from a 5-minute video. Doesn't bother me. Really doesn't. Hi, great video, really insightful. I just wanted to ask, how did you decide on your degree? Is it something you really love or something? Just wanted to learn more. Yeah, so basically the main question on this is, how did you decide on your degree? Okay, so I've always wanted to know, I wanted to do something around science and public health. So I narrowed it down to biomedical sciences and health sciences. I also want to clarify something. They are both equally as hard. Do not think one is easier or harder than the other. Both equally as hard. The main differentiating factor for me was that biomedical science gave me more options if I wanted to continue for some other things around the same kind of field. You have a lot more diversification in biomedical sciences. Health sciences is great, but it's very limited to just public health because of the fact it's lacking that physics component. I personally liked physics, so that's why I chose Biomed. Do what works for you. Don't listen to other people. Just go with what you're feeling in your gut. I'm going here next year to study health sciences, hopefully. And honestly, one of the only things that I'm worried about is not taking 10 years in the bathroom so other people don't get mad at me along with finding my way around. Also, do they let you in lecture halls? Like, can you just walk in? Okay, first of all, I don't think anyone's going to judge you for taking long in the bathroom. Why am I even answering this question? But yeah, take 10 years in the bathroom, no one's going to bother you. There's a lot of bathrooms. You could just go to any. No one's going to care. Everyone's too stuck up in their own world. No one's going to remember anything. I don't know what I was talking about. Let you into lecture halls. Yeah, so basically you just walk into any lecture hall. They do have security here and there, but that's mainly just to control the capacity of the lecture halls. There is a certain capacity to which the lecture halls can be filled, so it's mainly just for health and safety. But yeah, you can just walk into lecture halls. They're super chill. So, is it hard to get into UOA? I'm just in 7th grade and I'm from a different country. Love your videos, so inspiring. So UOA, I don't know how hard it is to get into UOA from an international student's perspective, but getting into uni is easy. Getting into programs is the challenging part. So getting to something like engineering and biomedical science, health sciences, law, business, or commerce, or whatever, they all have their requirements and set rank scores that you need to meet. I will say, insider news, if you don't meet the rank score of a certain course that you really wish you want to do, it honestly, nothing should stop you from doing what you want to do in uni. If you really want to do something, just apply anyway. If you declined, what you want to do is you want to be calling them, telling them how much you really want to do it. They will give you a plan on how to get you into that program and career pathway, but it really depends on a case-by-case basis. If you don't know what you want to do, that's completely fine as well. I'll make a separate video on that, on how I figured out what I wanted to do with my life. Also, TikTok, I have a whole TikTok based on that, so go check that out as well. That's like a 30-second video or so. So almost there. Well, actually not, but you know, I'll just try to get through as many. Hi, I just wanted to ask, I know that Auckland University has prayer rooms for Muslims, but I wanted to know if the university has halal food in the cafeteria. I don't remember. I didn't really eat from the cafeteria. I know the halls have halal food. Waiparuru Hall has halal food. Different halls have different kinds of food, so you have to check individually with the halls. Waiparuru is halal, but they also have a Muslims Association like club, which I recommend you getting involved with because they do like food for when it's Ramazan, whatever you want to call it. So during the fasting month, people will come together and they will open their fast together if you have late lectures. So that's always a good time. I recommend you getting a part of that. Also, they do have prayer rooms, as you said. Okay, next question is, what is a lab? Is it a practical? Is it a test? It's basically a scheduled fortnightly session where you go and have some sort of like experiment or investigation. You're usually in like a group or a partner. It really depends. If it's something like chemistry, then it's just like experiments. If it's something like physics, it's like investigations. They usually go towards your final grade. So you usually have like an assignment or a test or like a quiz or something that you have to complete while you're in the lab. to be able to get that grade that your lab is associated with. Yeah, I like labs. Labs are really interesting. Labs are much better than high school. So much better than high school. Okay, next question. What do you do on Saturday and Sunday? That's a good question. Yeah, I don't really have a life. I just study, I do fitness, I do video making. Yeah, that's all that's all I really do. I do makeup quite a bit. Like, I'm like self-taught. I do quite a lot of makeup. I don't really do anything else besides studying. I always look at like personal goals and stuff. I have personal financial goals that I look at, that I'm actively working towards. Sometimes I will pick up work because I do have, how many jobs do I have? I have 2 jobs at the moment. I have a marketing brand kind of ambassador role kind of thing. And then I also have a childcare holiday program job. But I haven't really worked this whole year for obvious reasons. And obviously I'm just focusing on uni. So that's what I do. Not really that interesting, but it is what it is. When do you sleep? Oh my god. Okay, I don't even know, to be honest. My average sleep is not very good, but I've always been like that. Like, I've always been the kind of person to just not sleep. I don't suggest doing that, but that's just the way I am personally, because I don't know. I'm just weird. Try sleeping on like 2 days a week at least. How do you get student discounts? I'm a student uni too. Okay, so I have a whole TikTok dedicated to saving money for students in New Zealand. I definitely recommend that. I've literally given all the platforms where you can have money saving tips. A lot of people found that really helpful. So please go check that out. I might link it below. I've heavily researched these, so please go check it out. I'm a big fanatic on saving money. Please keep doing these vlogs. I really enjoy watching them. So I have been doing mini vlogs on TikTok. Go check that out as well. I know I'm saying a lot about TikTok, but yeah, I'm not afraid to say that I have a TikTok because I don't use it for dancing or anything. I use it to help you guys. So go check it out. You look like Devi. Yes, I know. The food looks so good. Yeah, actually, yeah, I was surprised. The uni hall food, like, not uni hall. The Waiparuru Hall food is actually pretty good. Like, you do get sick of it, but it's good. I like it. How are you coping with the new lockdown? I think I'm going good. Like, at the start, I was kind of all over the place. I didn't really have a schedule, but I find that the environment you create for yourself at home really plays a big role into how productive you are. So, yeah, that's how I'm coping. I'm just gonna say I'm just coping. That's all I'm doing. I'm surviving. Yeah. Did you get a scholarship for accommodation? Yes. So I got a scholarship for semester 2, for my accommodation. So everything's paid for, food is paid for, like, obviously the rooms and heating and all that is paid for. Yeah, it's a good time. I enjoy it because I used to spend a lot of time on the bus just traveling, so I think it was good. I'm currently at home now because it's basically mid-sem break. Living in the heart of Auckland and going to uni is a vibe. It actually is. Yeah, it definitely is a vibe. I like it. Highly recommend. How do you get a scholarship? Go to the website, go to the UA website, type in scholarships, select the requirements as undergraduate scholarships, and then all the scholarships to come up. And then you have to look at the individual requirements for each scholarship. Apply to as many as you can. Also look at scholarships beyond university. There are also like funds and like other things that you can apply for. Just apply for anything and everything. If you don't get it, it's fine. If you do get it, great. I don't know what I want to do. I want to be a chef, but I also want to be a mechanic. Help me choose. Okay, this is not related to Biomed, but like, I just want to say, you don't have to give up your interests in university. A lot of people do that, and I honestly don't think it's the best idea. You could still do it, but you don't have to be like as actively involved with the same level as high school. Like, I still do like play sports and like do all those kinds of things, but I'm not in a team or in a club as much or anything. For this, I would say you can pursue being a mechanic as a side, like pursue being a mechanic and then maybe do a chef as a side hustle. And yeah, I've also made a TikTok on this. Go check it out. A lot of people found that helpful. So if you don't know what you want to do with your life, I have a TikTok on that. Yeah, go check it out. You're doing what I dreamed to achieve eventually. How were your grades in high school? Okay, well, thank you. I did pretty well in high school. Like, I really enjoyed high school. I pretty much just maxed out my skills and my, like, time in high school. I definitely burnt out in year 13 though. Yeah, that was a whole roller coaster. But yeah, I did get excellence endorsements every year. So yeah, so I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for your dreams. You got this. I believe in you. Honestly, it's just time, effort, and consistency that you need. So go hard, have fun, and just be happy, okay? I think I've answered the majority of the questions that you guys have. If you have any more, feel free to leave them below or just hit me up on Instagram or TikTok. Good luck for your studies. Good luck for university. Now, goodbye. Have a good life. Bye. I'm not lonely. Okay, bye.